are a lot of fun, man. We really enjoy it. I'd like to bring to the stage my partner in the show, Kent Rader. And if we could bring the house lights up here just for a sec. Thanks. Can we get the house lights up? Josh back there, he fell asleep or he got offended on the 22-year-old TV executive joke. You never know who's going to be in the audience. Hey, there we go. Thanks a lot, you guys, for coming out. A couple things. First of all, we like to end the Baby Boomer Show with a little Q&A because we realize that while we're not famous, we have been touring comedians for 15, 20 years now, and a lot of times people don't get a chance to talk to the comedians and ask questions about us, about our life and our craziness. And you can tell we were really crazy, but you're not going to get a chance to sit down one-on-one with Leno or Seinfeld. Maybe you are, but with us, you get a chance to ask questions. So we like to open it up to questions. Anything about us? Age, weight, whatever. Anyone else? Oh, yeah.
What was your toughest crowd?
Oh.
Here.
The cheerleader thing over there is kind of freaky.
Yeah,
I don't know.
mean.
She gave a lot of thought. That was early in my act.
She spelled it out the whole time.
I love the corporate. I went into corporate stuff because I started in comedy clubs, which are a lot of fun and very freeing. But we also would tag on things called one-nighters, which are not what you think they are. They're a lot of times the comedy club would be running a show from Tuesday to Sunday night, and then you'd have Monday night free. And a lot of the bars in town would bring the comedians over and have comedy Monday night. So the bars got cheap comedians, nationally touring comedians, and the comedians got a little extra money. The problem is they're very hard. They just weren't my crowd. A lot of times, a lot of really heavy drinking, wanting dirtier acts. And I think one of the funniest times I was I showed up at about noon, 1 o'clock to the bar to check out the crowd, and my audience. And then my audience was already there drinking, great, 8 o'clock show. And I'm already, starting to flop sweat then and thinking this is going to be awful. And one thing about the bar gigs was if you do 1 minute less of your time, they won't pay you. So you have to stay on stage regardless of how bad you hate it, the audience hates you, So anyway, I'm standing there looking at this crowd, and the bar owner comes over and he looks at me and he looks at his crowd and realizes this is a very bad match. And he said the funniest line I've ever heard. He said, "You ain't got any of them thinking jokes, do ya?" Yeah, I do. I became an ant again. You gotta think about this. He was right. It did not go well. So I moved on to the corporate. So I realized I found my fit. But you've never had a bad experience.
Besides having an accounting degree, I also have an economics degree, and.
He doesn't put that in his intro.
Yeah. Twilight often says I ought to get a library science degree. I'd have the trifecta of boring degrees. But I did a show for a corporate event for the Arkansas Mortgage Bankers Association. 400 bankers, every one of them looked like Mr. Drysdale from the Hillbillies. Even the women, it was. But it was ill-timed because it happened to fall 2 weeks after the collapse of Lehman Brothers, throwing our economy into the worst recessions. And I got there and everybody was really depressed, and the meeting planner comes up to me and goes, "Hey, listen, we've cut your keynote down from 90 minutes to an hour because I've invited an economist from the University of Arkansas to come in here and tell us what's happening with the economy." And this economist opens with, "In 1929, bankers were jumping out of windows in New York City." He said, "My suggestion is make it 7 stories high." He spends 30 minutes belittling these people, just awful. He gets done, 375 of the 400 people walk out. I don't know if the 25 that stayed were too stunned to get up or like had taken a cyanide capsule. Because for an hour, I got maybe a dozen chuckles. Right? You guys know Tim Allen did the show Home. And Tim says doing comedy in front of people that don't laugh is like being in front of a bad firing squad. They don't kill you, you know what I'm saying? And so I get off the plane, Twyla picks me up at the airport, and she goes, "How'd it go?" And I go, "It was awful, awful." I said, "You have no idea what it's like. Just talking for an hour to 25 people with a stupid look on their face." She goes, really? Said I'm a teacher. That's without a doubt. But you do, you get this flop sweat. You get a little trickle of sweat running
Only
down the
happened
middle
a
of your
couple
back.
times, but when it starts, man,
Oh, it's awful.
it is